My family's property had always been our sanctuary. Tucked away in the hills, it included a sprawling forest, a cabin, and a pristine lake that glimmered under the sun. Growing up, my brother and I spent countless hours on that lake, fishing, swimming, and learning to respect the rhythm of nature. It was ours, and we always assumed we could enjoy it as we pleased. That assumption would soon be shattered. The trouble began one late afternoon when my brother decided to fish at the lake. It was a warm, quiet day, and he had invited a few friends over. He was being careful, following the local fishing regulations, but apparently, the HOA that managed the surrounding properties saw things differently. Out of nowhere, they called 911, claiming that someone was trespassing on protected community property. Within minutes, police cars arrived at our gate. The officers were polite but confused. There was no evidence of illegal activity. My brother explained that this was private property, our property, and the officers left without issuing a citation. It seemed like a minor inconvenience at the time, but the HOA's actions had set off a chain reaction. The problem wasn't just the false emergency report. It was the intent behind it. They had tried to intimidate us, sending a clear message that no one could use the land without their permission, even though they had no legal claim to it. At first, we considered ignoring them. The call seemed absurd, and the police had cleared my brother. But our attorney advised otherwise. Filing a lawsuit for making a false emergency report was possible, but the potential damages were limited unless we could prove malice or significant financial harm. That's when we realized the true scale of their mistake. The HOA's intimidation had consequences beyond our family. The false 911 call delayed a legitimate emergency response in the surrounding area, including a nearby property where a fire had started simultaneously. Emergency services confirmed that valuable property and equipment could have been lost if response times had been compromised further. Armed with this information, our lawyer filed a civil suit against the HOA. The claim was straightforward. They had maliciously interfered with our property rights, filed a false emergency report, and created conditions that endangered neighboring properties. The case attracted media attention because it wasn't just about fishing. It highlighted how HOA overreach can put lives and property at risk. During the trial, the HOA attempted to downplay the situation, claiming they were protecting community standards and acting in good faith. The court didn't buy it. Evidence showed repeated complaints from HOA officials about our lake usage, with emails and recordings proving they knew full well it was private property. The judge ruled that their actions were both malicious and negligent. The damages? Staggering. The court awarded us $4 million in compensatory and punitive damages. The amount reflected not just the immediate harm and legal fees, but also the risk their actions posed to emergency services and neighboring properties. It was one of the largest HOA-related penalties in the state's history. In the aftermath, the HOA board was dissolved and their leadership removed. The community members who had supported such extreme measures faced public scrutiny and personal liability. Our family's lake returned to the peaceful sanctuary it had always been, free from interference. The incident taught us a lot about vigilance and standing up for your rights. A simple act of fishing, something so mundane and innocent, turned into a legal battle that highlighted the dangers of unchecked authority. But it also showed that even when institutions try to intimidate you, knowledge of your rights and careful documentation can turn the tables. Now, every time my brother casts a line into the lake, we remember the absurdity of the situation, but we also remember the hard-earned lesson. Property rights are not to be trifled with, and sometimes, standing your ground can result in justice so profound, it changes the course of an entire community. What started as a minor annoyance ended as a $4 million vindication, proving that even a simple lake and a simple act of fishing can become a battlefield when greed and power overstep the law.